attic doesn't show my reflection. Not exactly. When I stand in front of it, I see a man who looks like me, but he's wearing different clothes, standing in a different room, living a life I don't remember. At first I thought it was broken. Then I realized something far worse. The mirror isn't showing me who I am. It's showing me who I was before I died. The mirror came with the house. It stood in the attic when I first moved in. Tall, narrow, framed in dark wood, carved with strange twisting patterns. The previous owner had left it behind. At first I didn't think much about it. Old houses always come with forgotten things. Boxes of photographs, rusty tools, furniture too heavy to move. But the mirror felt different. It had weight to it, not just physical weight, the kind that makes a room feel smaller, quieter, like something is waiting. The first time I noticed something strange was late at night. I had gone up to the attic to search for an old suitcase. The single light bulb hanging from the ceiling flickered as I walked across the floorboards. Dust hung in the air like mist. That's when I saw the mirror, standing against the far wall, covered in a thin grey sheet. Curiosity got the better of me. I pulled the sheet away. The mirror's surface was strangely clear. Too clear. Like still water. For a moment I simply looked at my reflection. Just a tired man in a dusty attic. Nothing unusual. Then something moved. Not behind me. Inside the mirror. My reflection turned its head. A second too late. I froze. Slowly, I raised my hand. In the mirror, the man raised his hand as well. But again, he was slightly delayed. A fraction of a second behind me, like a video with bad signal. I stepped closer. The man in the mirror stepped closer too. But something was wrong. Very wrong. Because the room behind him was not my attic. Behind my reflection was a small candlelit room, stone walls, a wooden desk, and stacks of old books. I spun around. The attic behind me was empty, dusty, silent. But in the mirror, the other room remained. I should have left then. Most people would have. But curiosity is a powerful thing, especially when you think you're imagining things. So I touched the mirror. The glass was warm, and suddenly the reflection moved, not delayed, not mimicking, but moving on its own. The man inside the mirror stepped away from me, turned around, and began walking through the candlelit room. My heart began pounding, because the man looked exactly like me. Same face, same eyes, same scar above my eyebrow, but his clothes were different. He wore a long, dark coat, and boots caked with mud. He looked older somehow, worn, like someone who had lived a much harder life. I watched him move around the room, studying maps, lighting candles, writing in a journal. The mirror wasn't reflecting me anymore. It was showing me something else, something real, a life unfolding on the other side of the glass. For hours I watched, unable to pull myself away. Eventually, the man sat down at the desk and began writing. The next night I returned. The same scene was waiting. The same room. The same man, living his strange, quiet life. Night after night I watched, and slowly, I began to realize something. The man wasn't just similar to me. He was me, but not from this life, because the world he lived in was different. No electricity, no modern buildings, just stone walls, firelight, and ancient maps of places that didn't exist anymore. The more I watched, the more pieces began to fit together. He wasn't just living another life. He had lived it before. One night, he spoke, not to me, but to someone who entered the room, a woman cloaked in dark cloth. Their voices were muffled by the glass, but I could see their faces clearly. And the moment I saw her, something inside me twisted. I knew her, not from this life, but from somewhere deeper, somewhere older. They argued, fiercely. The woman pointed toward the door. The man, my reflection, shook his head. Then she said something that made him go still, very still. Slowly, he walked to the mirror, the same mirror I was standing in front of, and for the first time, he looked directly at me. His eyes widened, like he could see me too, through the glass, across time, across lives. I stumbled backward, my heart racing. But when I looked back at the mirror, he was still there, still staring, and he did something terrifying. He raised his hand and touched the mirror from the other side. The glass trembled. For a moment I thought it might break, but instead the image changed. The candlelit room disappeared. The man disappeared, and the mirror went dark. I didn't sleep that night. The next evening I returned to the attic. The mirror stood exactly where it had before, silent, waiting. When I looked inside, the room had changed. The man was running through a forest, branches tearing at his coat, rain falling in heavy sheets. Behind him were torches, dozens of them, people chasing him. The woman from before appeared in the mirror, standing in the forest path, blocking his escape. They argued again, desperately. But this time I could read her lips. You cannot escape what you've done. The man looked back toward the approaching torches, then back at her, and slowly he turned toward the mirror, toward me. I realized something terrible in that moment. The mirror wasn't showing random pieces of his life. It was showing the final moment, his last life. The man stepped closer to the mirror, closer to my side of the glass. Behind him, the torches grew brighter, closer. Then the woman raised a knife and plunged it into his chest. The man collapsed, falling forward directly toward the mirror, toward me. And when his body struck the glass, the mirror shattered. I woke up on the attic floor. The mirror was whole again, perfect, unbroken, but the reflection staring back at me wasn't mine. It was the man, standing silently in the candlelit room, watching me, because now I was the reflection, and somewhere in another life, someone else had just found the mirror